An absolute, mind-blowing financial scandal just detonated across the entire internet, and the hip-hop world is currently in a state of complete, jaw-dropping humiliation. We thought we had witnessed every possible level of petty celebrity exposing, but what 50 Cent just pulled off against Rick Ross has officially shattered every social media algorithm on the planet. Following the disastrous commercial flop of Rick Ross's latest album, 50 Cent didn't just kick the Maybach music founder while he was down. He delivered the most brutal, embarrassing, and career-destroying audit in rap history. 50 Cent just released verified rental receipts, hidden video footage, and insider lot invoices proving that Rick Ross, the man who built a 20-year legacy on being the biggest boss, has been secretly renting cheap, entry-level luxury cars, swapping out license plates, and staging fake flex videos for his social media and music clips. We're talking about certified rental agreements, showing Ross paying daily rates for base model vehicles just to shoot 15-second Instagram reels before returning them to local airport lots. The entire billionaire boss persona has been completely exposed as a multi-million-dollar optical illusion, and Ross's inner circle has plunged into a state of total, panicked meltdown. Stay right where you are, because what 50 Cent dropped at the 7-minute mark changes everything forever. To truly comprehend the catastrophic, soul-crushing scale of this latest fallout, you have to look at the deeply personal, venomous 17-year history between Curtis, 50 Cent, Jackson, and William Leonard Roberts II, the man globally recognized as Rick Ross. This isn't just basic internet trolling. This is a relentless, psychological war between two men who fundamentally despise everything the other stands for. For nearly 2 decades, Rick Ross operated under a bulletproof aura of untouchable, infinite opulence. He rapped about custom private jets, sprawling 300-acre estates, endless flows of champagne, and fleets of ultra-rare, million-dollar supercars. The Maybach Music Group brand was constructed on one non-negotiable principle: Rick Ross is richer, bigger, and more lavish than everyone else in the room. His monthly car shows at his legendary Promised Land estate in Georgia became a global spectacle, where thousands of fans gathered to worship a curated museum of vintage Ferraris, customized Chevys, and hypercars. Ross positioned himself as a master car collector, a connoisseur of automotive luxury, and an elite mogul who bought exotic vehicles with liquid cash. However, 50 Cent, hip-hop's most surgical, cold-blooded, and relentless antagonist, has spent 17 years studying the cracks in Rick Ross's armor. Back in 2008, 50 Cent launched what should have been a career-ending strike when he exposed Ross's past employment as a correctional officer in Florida, branding him Officer Ricky. But Ross executed a miraculous survival stunt. He ignored the law enforcement records, doubled down on his drug kingpin mythology, and shielded himself behind the visual aesthetic of extreme wealth. Ross understood that as long as the public saw him standing next to million-dollar Bugattis and custom Maybachs, they would continue to believe the biggest boss fantasy. For years, 50 Cent waited patiently in the shadows. While 50 Cent transitioned into a powerhouse television and media mogul, building the massive Power universe, securing lucrative streaming deals, and acquiring massive production studios, Ross continued to flex his automotive collection online. But in the modern digital landscape, maintaining the illusion of billionaire status requires an astronomical, non-stop cash flow. When Rick Ross's latest studio album suffered a catastrophic commercial collapse, moving a dismal 2,000 pure copies in its opening week while his world tour venues sat over 80% empty, the financial foundation of Maybach Music Group was suddenly thrust under a blinding spotlight. Music industry insiders began whispering that the astronomical overhead of running the Promised Land, paying property taxes, and maintaining dozens of exotic vehicles was putting severe, unsustainable strain on Ross's personal balance sheet. 50 Cent recognized this moment as the ultimate tactical opening he had been anticipating for nearly 2 decades. 50 realized that Ross was no longer protected by hit records or massive label advances. If Ross didn't have the liquid capital to sustain his ultra-luxury lifestyle, where were all these new supercars appearing on his Instagram page coming from? 50 Cent didn't just hire internet sleuths. He dispatched private investigators, corporate auditors, and undercover spotters to track the vehicle registration numbers, VIN codes, and transport trailers moving in and out of South Florida and Atlanta. 50 wasn't looking to critique Ross's lyrics anymore. He set out to prove that the cars Ross was flexing to his millions of followers didn't even belong to him. The trap was set, the receipts were gathered, and 50 Cent was holding a bomb that would permanently dismantle the Maybach mythology in front of the entire world. The nuclear detonation officially occurred at 2:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 50 Cent didn't drop a diss track or issue a standard press release. Instead, Fifth launched an unannounced, late-night Instagram blitz that instantly paralyzed every social media platform. 50 Cent posted a high-resolution carousel featuring actual, stamped rental invoices originating from an exotic and budget car rental company based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The customer name on the contract wasn't William Roberts. It was a third-party LLC registered directly to Ross's personal assistant and tour manager. The document revealed that a sleek, custom-wrapped matte black sports car, which Ross had featured heavily in 3 recent social media reels claiming it was his latest $400,000 toy, was actually a base model vehicle rented on a 48-hour temporary lease for just $220 a day. To make the humiliation infinitely worse, 50 attached a leaked security camera video from the rental lot. The footage clearly showed Ross's team pulling up in a transport van, picking up the base model sports car, and applying temporary magnetic Maybach logo decals and custom license plate covers over the rental agency's stock tags before driving it off the lot. LOL, the jig is officially up. 50 Cent wrote in a caption that trended globally within minutes. Mr. Biggest Boss is out here renting base models for $200 a day. Grinning squinting face. Sticking fake Maybach stickers on rental cars to shoot Instagram reels. You can't afford the tires on a real supercar, Ricky. Pack it up. The car show is a flea market. The comments section erupted into pure, uncontrolled, chaotic anarchy. Over 300,000 comments flooded the post in under an hour as fans, bloggers, and reaction channels zoomed in on the invoices, cross-referencing the VIN numbers shown on the rental receipts with the exact vehicles displayed in Ross's viral videos. The match was a 100% exact hit. The VIN number on the $220 a day rental receipt matched the vehicle Ross had bragged about buying outright in a video that had accumulated over 10 million views. The psychological damage was catastrophic. The optics were completely fatal. For 15 years, Rick Ross had insulted rivals by calling them broke and telling them to check his fleet. But 50 Cent had used official rental manifests to turn Ross's ultimate flex into an embarrassing national comedy sketch. Memes flooded X, TikTok, and Instagram. Digital creators edited footage of Ross's luxury car collection with audio of rental car counter agents asking for insurance coverage and return fuel receipts. The Biggest Boss identity was being shredded in real time. Inside Rick Ross's private compound at the Promised Land in Georgia, total, unadulterated pandemonium broke out. Leaked reports from staff members inside the estate indicated that Ross was sitting in his executive study when the rental receipts went viral. When Ross saw his assistant's name on the leaked invoices broadcasted to millions of people, he reportedly flew into an absolute blind rage, smashing a tablet against a marble fireplace and screaming at his management team to call his legal representatives immediately. Ross was trapped in a nightmare. If he stayed silent, the entire world would accept 50 Cent's receipts as the absolute truth, cementing his legacy as a fake billionaire who rented budget cars for internet clout. But if he responded, he risked drawing even more global attention to his embarrassing rental records. Driven by pure rage and desperation to save his multi-million-dollar brand, Rick Ross made a dangerous decision. He didn't issue a statement through a publicist. At 4:30 a.m., Ross launched an emergency Instagram live stream directly from his private garage, surrounded by dozens of vehicles, wearing a silk robe, smoking a cigar, and looking into the camera lens with bloodshot, enraged eyes. 50 Cent, you a whole police informant and a corporate troll. Ross roared into the phone, his voice shaking with intense anger. You talking about rental receipts? You pulling up fake paperwork created by your little internet hackers? I own millions in real estate. I own 50 classic cars sitting in this garage right now. You over there looking at transport leases for video props and calling it a flex? Every movie production uses transport vehicles, you illiterate fool. Ross tried to reframe the leaked rental receipts as standard production props used for video shoots, claiming that smart businessmen lease and rent production vehicles to save on tax depreciation rather than buying them outright. I hold the biggest car show in the country, Ross shouted into the camera, pointing his diamond ring at the screen. I got Bugattis, I got Ferraris, I got Maybachs that cost more than your whole TV budget, Curtis. You sitting in a 2-bedroom apartment looking at my logistics invoices. Show me your car fleet. 50? You don't even have a garage. It was a furious, aggressive attempt to regain control of the narrative. But just as Ross finished his speech, an unexpected, catastrophic twist dropped that turned his brave garage stream into an absolute nightmare. A prominent automotive blog published a verified, leaked email originating from the organizers of Rick Ross's own upcoming annual car show. The leaked email, sent to high-paying VIP ticket holders and private car collectors, revealed that several high-profile hypercars promised as the main attractions of the show were actually private consignments rented from third-party collectors because Ross's personal collection lacked the rare hypercars featured on the promotional posters. The revelation hit the internet like a freight train. Ross was live on stream claiming he owned a multi-million-dollar fleet, while his own event emails proved he was paying private collectors rental fees just to park their hypercars on his lawn to trick attendees. The live chat erupted into total, merciless mockery. Viewers began spamming the stream with rental car emojis and typing, "Your own CAR show is rented, Ricky. Stop lying to us." Ross looked at the comments, realized the event email had just leaked live on air, froze in absolute horror, and abruptly ended the live stream without saying another word. The abrupt end of Rick Ross's live stream didn't stop the disaster. It triggered a global digital earthquake. News outlets, financial blogs, and hip-hop reaction channels went into complete overdrive. The narrative that 50 Cent had officially unmasked Rick Ross as a fake billionaire renting cars for social media became the lead story across every major entertainment platform. The hashtags #RentalBoss, #RossExposed, and #50CentAudit were trending at the top of every social media network worldwide. Then came the second, massive, unexpected twist that escalated this feud from an embarrassing internet roast into a high-stakes corporate legal battle. At 11:30 a.m., an investigative entertainment reporter published a bombshell report revealing that 50 Cent's legal team had officially served Rick Ross, Maybach Music Group, and the organizers of his annual car show with a formal, multi-million-dollar consumer fraud and intellectual property notice. The legal filing contained a mind-blowing, unprecedented revelation that sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment business. According to the documents, 50 Cent's legal representatives had partnered with a group of disgruntled VIP ticket holders who had purchased $500 pass packages for Ross's car events under the explicit marketing promise of seeing Rick Ross's personal $20 million hypercar fleet. The legal filing alleged that by advertising third-party rented vehicles and temporary leases as his personal private collection to drive ticket sales and brand sponsorships, Ross and his team had engaged in deceptive marketing practices and commercial consumer fraud. Read that again. 50 Cent didn't just laugh at Ross's rental cars. He officially, financially, and legally backed a consumer lawsuit against Ross's CAR show. The legal notice demanded a full, independent forensic audit of every vehicle registered to the Promised Land estate, forcing Ross to legally produce actual state titles and registration papers proving which cars he actually owned versus which ones were leased, rented, or consigned. The sheer, diabolical genius of the move left the entire industry speechless. 50 Cent had effectively backed Ross into a corner where he would either have to prove his vehicle ownership under penalty of perjury or face massive financial fraud penalties. Think about what this means for Rick Ross. If he goes to court, he is legally forced to lay bare his private vehicle titles and registration records for public court review. 50 Cent immediately capitalized on the legal strike, posting a short video on his Instagram story showing himself sitting in a high-powered law office, casually sipping cognac while flipping through a folder labeled Maybach Vehicle Title Audits. 50 Cent didn't say a word in the video, but he added a caption that delivered a ruthless final blow. Produce the titles, Ricky. Show the court the pink slips or admit you're renting budget cars for Instagram clout. The audit is active. Oncoming automobile, money with wings. The internet completely lost its mind. The realization that Rick Ross was now legally challenged to prove he owned his cars turned the situation into the most embarrassing corporate exposure in hip-hop history. Memes depicting Rick Ross standing at a DMV counter with a stack of rental agreements flooded TikTok and X. Sponsors who had previously funded Ross's car shows began panicking, calling his management team demanding to know if their brand logos were attached to a potential consumer fraud lawsuit. Inside Ross's camp, absolute total breakdown occurred. Sources inside Maybach Music revealed that two major automotive sponsors quietly pulled their corporate funding from Ross's upcoming events, citing the legal risk and reputational damage of the ongoing audit. Ross was facing complete professional checkmate. His album had flopped, his tour was empty, his car show sponsors were fleeing, and now 50 Cent was legally forcing him to produce his car titles in court. Driven to the absolute edge of desperation, Rick Ross's legal team launched a frantic, emergency counteroffensive. They issued a public statement claiming that 50 Cent's legal backing was a malicious, bad-faith stunt designed to harass an independent entrepreneur, announcing that they were filing an emergency protective order to block the vehicle title audit. Ross's lawyers argued that how an artist sources vehicles for promotional shoots and events is protected corporate strategy, and that 50 Cent was abusing the court system for personal revenge. But just as the public was waiting to see if a judge would step in, 50 Cent's legal team dropped a single, terrifying response that left the entire industry frozen in suspense. We welcome the protective order hearing, because formal discovery will require Rick Ross to present his complete, unedited personal tax returns, LLC asset declarations, and corporate debt disclosures under federal court oath. The threat was lethal. If Ross fought the title audit, 50 Cent's lawyers would expand the discovery to examine his entire private financial portfolio. The entire global media landscape erupted into absolute, unprecedented madness as the rental cars scandal reached a fever pitch. The culture was fiercely divided, creating one of the most toxic, aggressive online debates in music history. On one side, hashtag Team 50 and G-Unit supporters declared a total, decisive victory. Fans flooded comment sections across every platform, hailing 50 Cent as a cold-blooded strategic genius who had delivered the ultimate payback for 17 years of disrespect. 50 Cent gave us 17 years of entertainment, but pulling up Rick Ross's rental car receipts and forcing a title audit is his absolute masterpiece. One viral tweet with over 220,000 likes read, "You can't call yourself the biggest boss for 2 decades and get caught sticking fake Maybach decals on a $200 a day airport rental." 50 Cent completely wiped him out. On the opposing side, hashtag Team Ross and hip-hop purists fought back aggressively, accusing 50 Cent of being obsessed, bitter, and using petty legal harassment to ruin a black-owned media empire. Every rapper in the history of hip-hop rents exotic cars for music videos and promotional shoots, an influential music blogger argued. 50 Cent weaponizing rental receipts and backing lawsuits over car show marketing is corny, malicious, and toxic for the culture. 50 is acting like a corporate auditor, not a rapper. Major automotive brands and event promoters held emergency private calls to discuss the massive legal precedent set by 50's title audit. Industry insiders admitted off the record that 50's move had rendered Rick Ross commercially radioactive in the automotive space, with luxury car dealerships terrified to lend or lease vehicles to Ross for fear of getting dragged into 50's legal audits. Podcast hosts, legal analysts, and automotive YouTubers dedicated multi-hour live streams to dissecting the VIN receipts. Analysts pointed out the stark, terrifying reality of modern pop culture, when an artist's brand is built entirely on physical luxury, exposing that the luxury is rented completely destroys consumer trust and sponsorship value. Meanwhile, memes mocking Ross's situation reached astronomical viral numbers. Millions of users created viral videos acting out fake scenarios of Rick Ross filling up a rental car at a gas station while hiding from 50 Cent's private investigators. Every minute that passed without a clear legal resolution added fuel to the raging fire. Was Rick Ross's biggest boss persona officially dead, as 50 Cent claimed? Or could Rosie somehow produce pink slips for his fleet and salvage his Maybach empire? The public was reaching an absolute boiling point, hanging on every single notification, waiting for the next explosive update. Just when the world believed this high-stakes automotive war had reached its absolute legal standstill, a brand new, jaw-dropping revelation dropped that completely shattered every single expectation and flipped the entire story into dangerous territory. At 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an official corporate filing surfaced from the state of Georgia's corporate registry, revealing that an undisclosed, newly formed commercial entity had just submitted a formal buyout offer to acquire the mortgage notes and property liabilities tied directly to the Promised Land estate. The filing showed that this anonymous investment group had already acquired a controlling percentage of the underlying private loans financing the 300-acre Georgia property, positioning them to initiate formal default proceedings if Ross fails to meet upcoming financial obligations, and who is listed as the principal managing director and primary legal representative of that investment group. A high-powered corporate attorney who serves as the chief legal counsel for G-Unit Film and Television and 50 Cent personally. Read that again. 50 Cent isn't just exposing Rick Ross's rental cars. He is actively trying to buy the mortgage to Rick Ross's Promised Land estate. If the buyout goes through, 50 Cent will officially become the private lender holding the deed to the very property where Rick Ross hosts his car shows and lives. The realization hit the culture like an atomic bomb. 50 Cent is on the literal verge of becoming Rick Ross's landlord. Sources close to Rick Ross report that upon learning of the mortgage note buyout filing, Ross went completely silent, ordered his security team to lock down the front gates of the estate, and canceled all remaining media appearances. As the news swept across the internet, 50 Cent posted a final, terrifying 6-second video on his Instagram story. He was sitting in a dark, luxurious office, holding a leather-bound folder labeled Promised Land Deed and Asset Acquisition, smiling with a cold, victorious gaze. 50 Cent didn't say a single word. He simply tapped the deed folder, winked at the camera, and let the screen fade to total black. This is no longer a rap feud. This is a total, historic, corporate, and real estate execution. Will Rick Ross find a way to block the mortgage buyout before 50 Cent takes control of the Promised Land? Or is the biggest boss about to lose his home and his legacy to his worst enemy forever? Stay locked in, because part 2 of this historic war is dropping next, and the music world will never be the same. We are watching absolute history unfold right in front of our eyes, and this war between 50 Cent and Rick Ross has officially reached a terrifying, historic peak. Now I want to hear directly from you. Do you think 50 Cent was completely justified in exposing Rick Ross's rental car receipts and forcing a title audit? Or did 50 Cent go way too far by attempting to buy the mortgage to the Promised Land estate? Is Rick Ross's biggest boss persona officially dead? Or can he somehow find a way to bounce back from this total commercial nightmare? Drop your raw, unfiltered thoughts in the comments section right now. I am going to be down in the comments replying to the best responses over the next couple of hours, so let's get the debate going. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and get instant, breaking news alerts the exact second Ross's legal team responds or 50 Cent executes the property buyout, you need to take action right now. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and turn on all notification bells so you never miss a single second of this escalating war. We have emergency sources tracking every legal filing in Florida, Georgia, and New York, and our next emergency breakdown video is dropping very soon. Don't get left behind. Subscribe right now, lock in, and stay tuned for the next explosive update.